Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Irfan Fatoni, and today I'm going to present about cross-cultural understanding, focusing on the topic individualism and theory between Western and Indonesian culture. Slide 1. Main discuss direct versus indirect communication. Now, let's move to the main discuss direct versus indirect communication. In general, Western cultures such as American or British tend to use direct communication. This means people express their true feelings and opinions openly and clearly. They believe that being honest and straightforward shows confidence and respect. For example, in a meeting, an American may say, "I don't agree with that idea. I think we should try a different approach." This kind of statement is not considered rude. Instead, it is viewed as a normal and even respectful way to share one's opinion. People in Western societies often value efficiency and honesty. They prefer when messages are simple, explicit, and easy to understand. Threat 2. Eastern communication style. On the other hand, Eastern cultures such as Indonesian, Japanese, or Chinese tend to use indirect communication. In this culture, people express their opinion more carefully and politely to avoiding hurting others' feelings. Maintaining harmony in social relationships is very important. For example, instead of saying "I disagree," an Indonesian may say, "That's an interesting idea, but maybe we can also consider another opinion." Although the real meaning might be disagreement, it is different is a soft and positive way. This helps to protect the relationship and avoid conflict. Indonesian culture communication is not only about transferring information but also about showing respect and kindness. That's why being too direct may result impulse or aggressive to many Eastern people. So we can also already see one big contrast here. Western people value honesty and clarity, while Eastern people value harmony and politeness. Slide 3. Edward T. Hall's communication theory. To understand this difference more deeply, we can look at Edward T. Hall's theory of high context and low context communication. According to Hall, every culture has its own way of sending and receiving messages. He divides culture into two main types. First, we have high context culture such as Indonesian, Japan, or Korea. Indonesian culture communication relies heavily on context, body language, tone of voice, and shared understanding. People don't always say everything directly. They expect others to understand the hidden meaning. Messages are implicit, and people need to read between the lines. Second, we have low context cultures, such as the United States, Germany, and the United Kingdom. People in this culture depend on explicit verbal communication. They say what they mean and they mean what they say. The message is clear from the word themselves, not from the situation or tone. So, to put it simply, in high-context societies, communication focuses on relationship and harmony. In low-context societies, communication focuses on clarity and efficiency. This theory helps explain why a Western person may talk to direct to an Asian or why an Asian may talk to fetch to a Western. They are simply operating with different cultural communication systems. Slide 4. Key difference summary. Let's summarize this. The key difference between these two communication styles. In high context culture, people are more sensitive to how something is said rather than what is said. The meaning of a message often depends on non-verbal cause, shared history, or relationship. Maintaining group harmony is more important than speaking out. In low context culture, however, what are the most important? People value transparency and efficiency. They believe that if everyone says exactly what they think, communication becomes better and clearer. So, when a person from a high context culture interacts with someone from a low context culture, it's easy for misunderstanding to happen. Slide 5. Real life example. Cross-cultural means understanding. Let me give you a real life example. Imagine an Indonesian student and American student working together on a group project. The American student may say, "You should finish your part tonight." To an American, this sentence is important, direct, and efficiency. It simply communicates what needs to be done. But to an Indonesian, the tone might sound too strong or even rude as if giving an order. Now, let's reserve the situation. The Indonesian student may say, "Maybe we can finish the sound, yeah?" To an Indonesian listener, this is a polite way to suggest a deadline. However, the American student may not understand that I actually means, "Please finish your part quickly." Instead, the mic interprets it as a casual suggestion, not an interaction. This small difference in style can lead to confusion and frustration between both sides. That's why understanding context and communication style is so important. It helps us avoid misunderstanding and show respect for the other person's culture. Slide 6. Reflection or closing thought. To conclude, the difference between direct and indirect communication respects one of the most fascinating contrast between Western and Eastern culture. Western tend to speak direct and expressing value, harness, and clarity. Easterners tend to speak indirect and politely, value harmony and respect. Using Hall's theory of high context and low context communication, we can see that these differences are not about being right or wrong. They are simply different cultural approach to expressing meaning. From studying this topic, I've learned that cross-cultural understanding is not only about fact but about developing empathy and adaptability. When we learn to adjust our communication style, we become better global communicators, able to connect with people from many backgrounds. Thank you for listening. I hope this presentation helped you understanding how culture influence the way we speak and listen to one another. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.